Hello there, friends, and welcome back to more Bravely Default. Last time, we found a new home for Eggiel. Not in the Goodman's residence back in Heartschild, but here in Caldisla, under the caremanship of our innkeep Carl. We spoke to the king, and Eggiel has been given the position of junior knight in the king's ranks. So he's going to be aspiring to become like Owen, a brave knight who can protect his people and those he cares about. It's admirable for a young lad like him, but our time here in Caldisla has come to an end. And we still have a little bit more we want to do in Heartschild and Eisenberg as a whole before we wrap up here and move on to our journey towards the Earth Crystal. So we're going to make some final preparations here in Caldisla and then make the journey back to Eisenberg, starting with Narende Village updates. So we got the hike gloves from the armor shop, and Pantheon's Wrath from the combat item shop, and some gifts from the trader, and compound item shop. Alrighty. Alright, so starting off on our upgrades today is the trader shop, so we can get the X potion. And next up, we're going to be continuing to upgrade the armor shop for the hike helm. In terms of other news, we did gain a new support ability slot, bringing our total to 4, so I'm going to be filling in a few of those. With Tiz, we'll be adding speed 10% up to increase his speed even further than it already is. Ringabel, we don't really have anything too crazy to put on him, as most of the jobs that he was on before Salvemaker don't really have all that many support abilities early on. So I think right now, I guess I'll put Short Nailment on him, but I still can't really fit his entire list with things that I really want him to have. Idia didn't really have anything too interesting, but Anyas does have self-healing, so I'll go ahead and equip that on her. While we're in the main menu, I did go ahead and adjust my special move parts to apply fire damage to all of my attacks. And I also equipped a rod on Anyas and set her special move parts for Piercing Bolt and Withering Ripple. The most important thing to note is that her Withering Ripple does have fire resistance down. I think that's about all the preparations I wanted to make, so let's head back to Eisenberg. If you look at the mini-map on the bottom right of your screen, you can see that there are 2 sub-scenarios active for us right now. And I've given it quite a bit of thought, but I think it is best if we go and tackle the northernmost scenario first. Because I think we have had some unfinished business at a very specific location. And I think it's best if we go ahead and finish it up. This first sub-scenario takes place in Starkfort. We get to see this place at the daytime. There's not really much difference, it's just bright outside. Though I am going to be talking to the adventurer here and saving up. I guess while I'm here, I haven't bought the remaining level 4 magics that are available here, thanks to the traveling merchant. So I'll go ahead and purchase these. There's no real use for them that I'm going to bring, but it's nice to have. Once all your preparations are made, head inside Starkfort. So, there's no great cutscene to greet us, just like last time, but unlike our first visit here to Starkfort, this gate right here is actually open, which leads to another staircase. We actually only explored about a third of this dungeon whenever we first visited it, back when we took down Kata. So, we still have a lot to explore here. First off, there are some treasure chests here. Dragon Fang, Bacchus Wine, there's a blue chest over there. In terms of the enemies, they are still just regular Black Blades, so I will be cutting out a lot of encounters here, as you've seen these guys many times already. If there are any unique encounters within this area that I run into, I'll make sure to show them off. But for right now, we're just dealing with Black Blades. So on the right here, there's a blue chest that obviously we can't open, and there's an ice charm. That'll mitigate some ice damage. And there's another staircase. Okay. Again, we've got a lot of dungeon to explore, so there's a lot of winding paths here. There's a staircase right there, and a fight with a lot of Black Blades. Wow. There we go, nice and easy. Idia's almost job level 10 on Valkyrie. That's very impressive. Okay, we've got 2 staircases to look at now. Okay, and a treasure chest. This gives us an X potion. All right, let's take this top left staircase first and foremost. There we go. Okay, this leads us to another path. And a new enemy, a fire Dagon. This is a fire version of the Dagons that we've seen a few times beforehand. Obviously, because he's fire element, it's best if I don't use the flare hatchet and instead use the Viking axe, as I don't want his doing no damage or very little to this Dagon. I'm going to have Anya's help out by casting a few Blizzaras, as she does have a rod on now, so she actually might do some extra damage. There we go. It's not much, but it's still something. And the Judgment finishes them off there. And we get some respectable EXP for that. I'll have to make sure to re-equip the Flare Hatchet, as long as we don't see another one of those guys again. This is a lot of winding paths right here. Wow, and this leads to another staircase. This goes down instead of up, though. So this leads to a, I guess, somewhat secret room, and gives us a Courage Ring. What's that do? The Courage Ring will give us... It nullifies Dread. That's right, we have 2 of those now. Interesting. Alright, I'll see you back at that base room with the 2 staircases. I'm back at this room with the 2 staircases, and before I go to the top right staircase, going to this bottom left corridor right here will net a secret area with a safety ring treasure chest. The safety ring, I think, is not something new. No, we have 2 of these now. The Nullified Death. That's very good. Oh, just a single Dagon. Nice. Okay, so they have a Fire Breath that does pretty respectable damage. I'm not gonna lie, that kind of hurt. But nothing we couldn't handle. And Anya's gained a level up. And Idia gained a Jabba level up and learned Pierce Default. Pierce Default. Your attack's damage will not be reduced by the target's default state. It's pretty self-explanatory, and I think I'm actually going to go ahead and equip this. I'll remove Silence Immunity and give her Pierce Default. It's a really strong support ability, and it'll allow her to be aggressive no matter what the enemy is trying to do. And let me heal up a little bit. Ring a bell. You have a really high mind stat, so you're the heal bot for right now. And let's go up these right side staircases. Okay, this is kind of a mirrored room to the other room we saw, but it has an extra corridor, it looks like. Oh, there's a treasure chest over there, so let's double back real quick, grab that. It's really nice to see, I guess this dungeon is we didn't really get to explore the entirety of the dungeon on our first visit. It's really nice that there's more to see in this dungeon than we first saw it. Alrighty, that fight went down okay, and Idia gained a level up, Ring a Bell did as well, and so did Tiz. Nice.
I didn't sign up for this. It wasn't supposed to turn out this way. We staged an uprising because you said we could win. 4 years later, what have we got to show for it? It was a harebrained scheme from the start. You lot were behind this, so you can clean up the mess. I'm getting out of here until the coast is clear to return.
You'd leave your compatriots behind.
Well, look, it can't be helped, can it? The sword bearers need their commander alive so we can make a comeback.
It can't be helped, you say? Yes, you may be right.
I'll have to use your airship, of course. Well, good luck.
So it looks like Kamiizumi is in this fort with us as well. Ideally, it doesn't come to a confrontation, but we can only be so lucky. Exploring this is the 5th floor of Stark Fort. This place is pretty big. We got ourselves some power bracers, which will increase our physical attack, which is pretty good. I'm gonna hold off on equipping those just yet. There's an adventurer right here. Nice to see you, buddy. Oh, hey, another new enemy, a Hellhound. I don't think you're worth keeping around, so we're gonna deal with you the same way we deal with every other enemy. There we go. Okay, so on the right side here, actually, before I keep running, I don't want to get into an encounter and have really low HP. There we go. This just loops back around. Okay. Oh, nope, there's a staircase right here. Where does this lead? This leads to another small little area with a bonus treasure chest with a turbo ether in there. So I did put up the loot list in our first visit to Stark Fort. I completely forgot that only half of those loot can only be acquired once you've actually awakened the fire crystal, which is the prerequisite for actually unlocking this segment of Stark Fort. That was a bit of a blunder on my part, so I apologize for that. But hey, you can get all of that loot eventually. You just gotta wait a little bit longer. All right, we're gonna heal up one last time. And we're going to be making some minor adjustments. I think I'm going to be giving Tiz Thievery and equipping him with the... Where are you? Thief Gloves to increase his chance to steal. I have something I really want to grab, and if I can't get it within a few tries, I will just ignore it. But I want to see if I can grab it regardless. Along with Tiz's change to Thievery, I'm also going to be changing Ringabel's job command to Miscellany, so I have access to Examine. In terms of everyone else, I think their stats are okay. In terms of job commands, I think it'd be best if I gave Anya's Time Magic. There we go. Those are all the preparations I wanted to make right now, so whenever you're ready, head up these stairs.
I'll admit this was a reckless plan from the outset. A great battle against a powerful nation, outnumbered 100 to 1. Such a thrilling opportunity. But I was not able to keep my subordinates in check, leading to the scourge of the toxic mist and the death of the fire vestal. The toxic mist decimated the main forces of the shield bearers, but the Black Blades did not escape unscathed. The death of the fire vestal caused Mount Karka to erupt, sealing the way into the temple. And then, you arrived.
You introduced me to the way of the sword, Master. You taught me many things. About values, standards, and good and evil. It's fair to say you had a great influence on me. My father was always concerned about his work and his ideals. He found little time to spend with me. Tell me, Master, were the things you told me about righteousness, strength, and bravery all lies? That we should help the helpless and face strong foes without flinching? I cannot fathom why you have lit the fires of war in this realm, causing strife to so many innocents. I still find it hard to believe. This is not the man I know. He would never do this!
You let sentiment cloud your mind, Adia. You are still as earnest as you were when you were a youth. You never waver in your disgust for recreant behavior. You condemn all that runs counter to your beliefs without fail. In a way, you remind me of your father.
What? You see him in me?
Yes, very much so. But you are still a child, unsullied by the world. There are no certainties in life. Righteousness and truth have a different meaning to each and every one of us. If you try to see the world as merely black or white, you'll lose sight of its true nature.
Many are quick to treat us as children. But they simply use that as an excuse for their own corruption.
A warrior's pride is not always compatible with the responsibilities of a commander, Adia. If I could act as I see fit, everything would be easy. But that is not the case. The same goes for your father. And someday, for the wind vestal you accompany.
Oh. Don't compare her to you or my father. Agnes acts for the good of the world.
She fights to carry out her mission, no? Blood and tears are shed in its name. It is no different for your father, Omi.
Mission? No different? You and your soldiers plunged the world into turmoil. You started a war and took the lives of so many. How can you say Agnes is like you?
If you cannot see beyond the surface, then perhaps you will never understand. Do not be so blind. You must not lose sight of what is most important. I thought I had taught you that.
Enough sophistry. It is underhanded. That does it. I shall go to help Agnes awaken the Earth Crystal.
If that is your decision, I hope you are prepared to live with it.
I am. I'm ready to fight any who get in our way. Even you or my father.
Very well, then. I see you have made up your mind.
Kami-Izumi, the Swordmaster, leader of the Black Blades. This fight is quite a puzzle. So, first things first, we're going to examine him, see what we can do. I'm also going to have Agnes, real quick, build up our defenses by utilizing Got Your Back. We're going to need this as much as possible. Know thine enemy. Kami-Izumi is a very patient attacker. He's fully willing of waiting for us to deal the first strike before countering us and taking off pretty much the entirety of our HP bar. So we're going to play patient and set our own defenses up in time, and then we will see about pushing some of his buttons. There, Nothing Ventured. Know Thy Enemy and Nothing Ventured, along with some of his other moves, are counter abilities. Once you hit him with specified attacks, he will counter you for pretty much fatal damage, so you need to be ready to take that damage. Speaking of, I think I'm going to default one last turn. And then I'm going to actually create a compounding. Actually, I'm not going to compound this turn, I'm just going to have everyone else default. Actually, I think it would be best if we have Agnes go ahead and apply... let's go ahead and have her apply Withering Ripple this turn. And we're going to speed things up. There's Kami-Izumi's physical attack, which she rarely does. 700 damage to all of us when we're just defaulting. This will give Kami-Izumi Fire Weakness. We're now going to speed things up a little bit. First things first, I'm going to have Tiz just go ahead and attack him once. Then I'm going to have Ring a Bell go ahead and Brave once, heal everyone up, and then apply Lux. And then everyone else default. Nothing Ventured. His counters are always the main priority. And as you can see, his counter did a lot of damage, killing Tiz in one hit. That's okay. That's perfectly okay. Then we're going to have Ring a Bell bring Tiz back up into the field and give him a concoction. We're going to give him a Beast Vim to get his attacks back up, and then we're going to have everyone else default. And hopefully, Tiz lives. Kami-Izumi, once he's activated his counter, will then go full in on his attacks and will put himself into the negative, allowing us to just kind of go ham on him. We're going to start by just throwing all of our special moves at him as much as we can. We're going to have Ring a Bell heal us up, as we've got a lot of time to kill now. Thanks to his Fire Weakness, we can now also apply Sword Magic to Idia. Throw her spear, we'll give her the Horizon, and then we'll just hit Kami-Izumi. We're going to have Agnes Brave twice. We're going to have her raise everyone's physical attack, speed, and also give Idia an extra piece of BP.
Take this!
There we go. Fly the axe. I don't have Tiz's weapon on, but that's okay. I don't have his flare hatchet on, but that's okay. Rebuff Blockade. That's one of the two items I was looking for, but there's still one more I'm aiming for. So I'll be throwing some more mugs at him here in a little bit. Another very powerful attack coming from Idia. She's going to be doing most of our damage here, as you can see. Keep the buffs going. The poison is going to be doing a decent amount of damage to him as well. Kamizumi is still out this turn, so we're going to be swapping our weapon over to the flare hatchet, and we're going to be mugging him again. I'm still looking for one more item. If I can't find it, that's okay. And then we're going to have Idia go ahead, and I think I'll have her throw a Judgment out and then attack twice. And then Anya's I'm going to have default as well. This might be the last turn. He's alive. I couldn't get it. Oh, that's unfortunate. That's okay. We're going to now that he's back in the field, though, Kamizumi is going to be fairly dangerous. So we're going to keep ourselves fairly active. So we're going to actually cast Veilga for the first time. Kamizumi is going to be going on the offense again, as he's going to be attacking us. I put Veilga on at the hopes of potentially not needing to worry about our HP, because we could dodge things, but I was a little disappointed there. We're going to be losing our special moves here fairly soon, so I'm actually going to be reapplying Got Your Back, so we have defense bonuses. And we can slow down time again. But Kamizumi still has one turn where he's not doing anything. Unfortunately, we don't really have much to do ourselves, so I'll be reapplying Got Your Back again, just for Tiz's sake. That poison has done quite a bit of damage already. Ring of Bell's going to be utilizing less shield, and then we're going to have everyone else default for right now. Now that Kamizumi is in his lower HP range, he's just going to be running attacks at us. And he does not like Tiz, it looks like. He's at 9,509 HP. I'm sure we can make something out of this. We're going to have Ring of Bell raise Tiz again, and apply the Blessed Shield on him. Just a single target, we don't need that. Idia is going to default, and Anya's, I'm going to have her raise our physical attack again. I don't want that, I do not want Love Power running out. There's a Phoenix down, and the Blessing, and we have one more turn where he has 8,909 HP. I think it's only fitting that we have Idia finish him off. Take him down, Idia. And let's fight with Kami-Izumi. Honestly, the best strategy here is to basically just have someone be the sack puppet, like I did with Tiz there, where I just threw him at the wolves at Kami-Izumi, had him die just to activate Kami-Izumi's very aggressive stance, where he puts himself into the negative. If you try to play around his counters, it's a pretty long-winded encounter, as both Kami-Izumi can both counter physical and magical attacks, so magic isn't even safe. Just have some Phoenix Downs and heals ready to go, and deal with him that way. Lots of EXP, lots of JP, and Anya's gained a job level and learned Catch Me. And we obtained an X potion for our troubles. And with 4 of the 5 Black Blade members down and out, we obtain the Swordmaster Asterisk. The Swordmaster anticipates enemy movements to unleash powerful counterattacks, reduces damage and hits foes back, and they favor katanas. Their specialty is counter, and their job command is Bushido. Their stats are fairly above average outside of their magical stats, so they can be very aggressive physical attackers and decent tanks. In terms of their arms aptitude, their main weapon of choice is the katana, especially thanks to their high crit chance and fairly high attack potency. The katana is a very good weapon paired with them. If you don't want to use the katana, swords and daggers are decent alternatives, primarily the sword, but you're going to be wanting to utilize katanas, as it is an S-rank affinity. In terms of their armor aptitude, they actually do have above average stats with them, allowing them to, again, play fairly effective tank roles. So keep that in mind. The Swordmaster is able to counter physical and magical attacks, and can set counterattacks to primarily focus on one enemy, meaning if that enemy hits them, the counterattack will be even harder. The Swordmaster pairs very well with jobs like the Pirate or Knight, in that they can manipulate where enemies attack or don't attack, and can retaliate based on that. It's a very strong job that has a lot of very useful combat skills and job support abilities. So it'll be seeing a lot of use in my team.
Master!
Well fought. I underestimated your conviction. Will you hear your master out one last time, Adia?
Of course.
Take the time to speak with your father properly. If you do not, I see nothing but tragedy for you both. End this petty dissent between father and child.
Master.
You two were always so difficult.
Master!
Kamizumi was strong in his convictions and will. And while I do not condone his actions when serving under the Black Blades, I do respect him, and I hope he rests in peace, and we will be sure to value his final wish and give Idia the chance to try and talk things out with her father when we probably eventually meet in him and cross blades. I don't want to stay here any longer, though. Let's head outside. So, we obtained the Swordmaster's Asterisk, a duelist that uses counterattacks in combat. Has been a fairly effective pirate, but I do think it is time for him to move on to greener pastures and become our Swordmaster. But that's not all, as Idia is also going to become a Swordmaster. Now, we obviously don't have too many pieces of gear that we can put on them. We have a Nodachi and an Issei no Kami, but we don't, our attack power is not nearly as high as it could be. I was trying to steal a katana from Kami Izumi with Tiz's mug, but it didn't work out. I will see you back here after I do a teeny bit of grinding to get them up to a few extra job levels, so that they're not falling behind in terms of attack power. And then once we're done with that, we'll close out here again. So, I'll be right back. Alright, on our first level up, we obtain Abate Earth support ability. That's nice, I guess. It lowers earth damage. On our next level up, we obtain Katana Lore. That is going to be very useful going forward, and is one of the key support abilities I wanted to learn. But there's still one more I want to get. There we go, there's counter in action. Also, I did turn off EXP gain, so I don't get any higher level. I don't want to be over-leveled or anything while I do this. I just want the JP. At job level 4, our Swordmasters learned Squeaky Wheel. And we have also obtained a Monster Fiber. Squeaky Wheel. Reduce the target's BP by 1. For bosses and some enemies, the success rate falls to 30%. This is pretty useful, though thanks to it being random chance, it might not be the most reliable ability to use, but it could come in handy. Also, we did not look at Nothing Ventured. Nothing Ventured. Have the damage you sustain if hit by a physical attack during the turn this ability is used, and counterattack with double the damage of a conventional attack. So, you prop this ability up, it's the first thing to go off at the turn, and if you're hit at any point by a physical attack by any enemy, you will counter it, thanks to Nothing Ventured. And this can proc multiple times a turn, it's not a one and done thing. And on our final encounter here, we obtained job level 5 on our Swordmasters and learned the multitask support ability. This is the main support ability I wanted to learn. Multitask has a 25% chance to follow up with an additional attack when making a conventional attack. So, in theory, let's say you were utilizing a two-handed weapon, and you braved 4 times and attacked normally 4 times. There is a decent chance that instead of just 4 attacks, you deal 8 attacks, which is really useful. And if you're using dual wield, if you're dual wielding weapons, which both attack individually, that means that if you, at best, multitask gives you 16 individual attacks. This is a very strong ability, and it's something that I'm going to be utilizing on Idia, which is the main reason why I wanted to level up Swordmaster on her. I will be slotting her back onto Valkyrie now. I just wanted to get that leveling up done at the same time as Tiz, who will actually be staying on Swordmaster for the time being. But Idia will be going back on Valkyrie, and she'll be utilizing the support abilities and job commands that we obtained from this little grind session. Our actual levels did not change at all, but we did gain some new job levels here today. I'm also here right next to Heartschild, and I think this is a decent spot to stop and rest, so let's head inside. We've done a lot today. We got a new job, we took down Idia's good friend and old mentor, Kami Izumi, and we may have moved this civil war one step closer to finally coming to an end. I think that's a cause for not only a decent night's rest, but maybe even a celebration. Next time on Bravely Default, I think it'd be best if we go to the Goodman residence and deliver the good news. I think they would enjoy that. So, with that said, I'll see you soon.